Hmm. All right, all right. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Good afternoon. Haki Ami, the Success Scholar. Thank you for joining in. Hope you all are having a wonderful week. Hopefully, your week has been wonderful. It is Friday. Happy Friday. Okay. All right. So, hope you all are wonderful. Hope you are doing beautiful. Want to, just thank everybody for all of the shout outs and all of the organizing that has been going on. For those that are in the Baltimore area, definitely come on out to the African American Cultural Festival, which is on Saturday, the 17th. But if you are watching this on replay, rebroadcast, I definitely will chime in and definitely put replay in the chat. So, yes, a lot of great things are going on, but just want to let everybody know got a busy next couple weeks, uh, next few months. I'm heading to Panama next week and then down to Texas for the East African Conference. So, principally securing our operations in East Africa. So, this will definitely position the brand to make uh, that happen. So I'm excited about the upcoming Ghana tour. But before I do that, I'm looking forward to being tomorrow at the festival, and I will be promoting the Sankofa Movement book. So I'll be there uh, promoting that. So looking forward to that. Uh, let me see. And and of course, Baba Dr. Renoko Rashidi's book here as well. So the global African presence in search for the African, and my global journeys in search for the African presence. So definitely, definitely check those out. Let me go ahead. Oops, this. Okay. Why do I keep doing that? Um, so yeah, so definitely check those out, everybody. We are definitely looking forward to the many experiences that we will have over the next few weeks. So Panama, then Texas, and then of course the Love Camp that's in Tanzania, and then Kenya, which I will be present. Looking forward to that. Kenya is going to be off the chain, amazing with the Gullah Geechee Nation and the Turtle Island tribe. Sorry, the Turtle Island tribe will be present. We're looking forward to that. We have several speakers. Dr. Beekman will be joining us from the Netherlands. On a tour. Sorry, I'm trying to put up a banner. I should have did this first. Uh, okay. Then it won't let me put like. Is it the third, the 13th, the 12th? I don't know. Let me see. 12th to 23rd, 13th to 22nd. I'm all wrong. Let me change this. But 13th to 22nd. Sorry, I got a little dyslexic thing going on. All right, 13th to 22nd. But we're going to get into the details. I'm not going to give any details. I'm going to share my screen because we did have a discussion about that, and you all can look and see, as you can see at the bottom. But yes, so join me at the African American Cultural Festival tomorrow. We will have a table there. Gosh, phones are jumping everywhere. But yeah, so I'm going to see the movie tonight, the King, the Woman King. So I look forward to offer my limited scope. I'm reading different reports, and so I can't say that it was, I do recall now that I think about it. I believe they talk about that in the destruction of African civilization. Someone correct me if I'm wrong if you didn't see that in the destruction of Africa, the Dahomey people. So I'm sure it was. I mean, it was essential part, and I'm not sure how much they go into the tribes, but I do recall reading about the Dahomey people. But without further ado, of course, many of you know I've been going to South Africa, East Africa, East Ethiopia, Tanzania, and now Kenya. So, but now we are taking this tour. Many people have gone to the western part of Africa. I believe that, of course, that's the common, place what more people are familiar with. So we had an opportunity to do some work there this year. So we just decided that, hey, let's put some feelers out. Let's see who's interested, and let's make it happen. So definitely join us. We offer some exciting opportunities, artist led, different types of artists, and we have fun. The artists on the ground in many African countries, they are the connection to the culture. So let's see who we have. Mugisha Allen, Badingu, and Dominic Marfo. So those are some of the curators for that. But let's show our interest meeting, and I'll let you all hear from Miss Poole as she shares the vision and what's going to be happening. I was on it for a couple, so I couldn't share. I haven't been to Ghana, so I only could, listen in and, give my little 2 cents. So here it is, y'all. All right, let me go ahead and press play.
Okay, today is Sunday, September 11th, and we are here to discuss Thai tours and our upcoming excursion to Ghana this December 13th through 22nd, 2022. I'll begin by talking a little about our company, our approach to cultural connection, exchange, and how we as a company facilitate a true immersion into a place. Before we start, I would just like to know who's on the call with us today. I know that I see a few new faces and some others that I have already taken to different places around the world. Could we just come off camera? If I know, ladies, you get an excuse if you weren't ready for that. I understand. Can we just introduce ourselves and just say why you're interested in travel to Africa?
And can you hear me?
I can hear you. How
Okay.
are you?
This is Brother Hakeem or Brother Nkosi. I've been interested in getting to Ghana for some time, and I've seen some of your tours, so I'm very much interested. I'm trying to work around my schedule as well as my wife. She's a principal, and sometimes a little bit harder for her to get these particular time slots. But I'm, wanting to find out more information. So I'm glad I could sign on today.
Absolutely. Thank you for being with us. I hope that we can encourage her to make it convenient. You know, you only live once. And so we want to make it for you and your wife.
Uh,
Who's next? Who's with us today?
Peace and blessings. This is Leslie Howard, aka Brother Kenyatta. I'm here with my wife Rena, and I've been to Africa. I went to Senegal and the Gambia a while back, but I've always kind of promised that I would return to the motherland, and I really want to, basically see as much of the continent as I can before Creator calls me to close my eyes. And I've been following Sister Kim since I met you through the Maryland Council of Elders, and I have always just admired your work. And so I'm looking forward to getting more information and seeing when we could make this happen.
I love that. Two different perspectives to how you guys have learned about our work, one through direct tourism and the other through our work. I appreciate that so much, Mr. Leslie, because we only do tours to regions of the world where we work all year long. So we're not a traditional tour company because we're not there in the country for the sole purpose of tourism. And so it just really makes my heart sing that you know about our work, and that is how you came to learn about our tours. So thank you so much. I see other folks. Okay, Miss Lisa Monique. Yes, I know Miss Lisa. Miss Lisa, could you introduce yourself and tell us why you're interested in traveling to Ghana?
Um, my name is Lisa Watford. I am interested in traveling to Ghana. I had the pleasure of traveling with Thai Tours the very first time I ever went to Africa. We went to Tanzania. It was one of the most beautiful and challenging experiences that I've ever had. So when I heard that Thai Tours was going to Ghana, I am very interested right now in possibly looking at dual citizenship, looking at living someplace else outside of the United States. And of course, Africa was definitely top on my list of places that I wanted to explore. And because I did get a chance to visit Tanzania, I wanted to go to Ghana because, of course, I've heard about all the migration to Ghana and felt like, I know Thai Tours. They're kind of like family. So when I heard that they were going, I said, well, let me see, maybe this might be the opportunity and a chance for me to jump on board.
Nice. It's so nice. To have repeat customers. It means that we're doing something right. And it really goes beyond just the exchange of business. So glad that you see us and some of those in our company as family, because that's really how we see you. Our groups are intimate and they're small. And so it gives us an opportunity to really connect with the people that are going. And so we know you. I feel confident saying that. I know some of the things that agitate you. I know when you're afraid, travel, it accelerates the get to know you process in a way that, you could live next to somebody your whole life, right next door, and you don't know them as well as someone that you spent 2 weeks with in another country. I promise you, it's an intensified get to know you process. And thank you, Lisa, for considering us again. I appreciate that. And shout out to you for being one of our donors at the orphanage that you visited in Tanzania. Those young people love you. They know you by name and they appreciate your small gifts each month. Thank you again. So I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge the president of our board, Mr. Haki Ami. He is here with us today. Haki, I know you're in transit doing a million things on this good Sunday morning. Would you like to address us?
Sure. Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Hotep, peace and blessings. Haki Ami. So it's been great going to Africa with the Teaching Artists Institute. Shout out to Sister Lisa and Brother Hakeem, as well as Brother Leslie. We appreciate it, you all joining this call. So Ghana is very strategic, both historically for liberation of Black people and African people. And I've met a lot of expats rather recently when I was in Ethiopia. And, I know, and there are a significant amount of people that travel to Ghana that I've been knowing. And of course, coming off of the year of return, where a very significant amount of people, I think 500,000 went to Ghana. We have a strategic opportunity and a mission to go there and keep the connections going there. So, and, being connected to the Akan tradition for some years, I've learned a lot about the culture even before going. So, I think it's a good time to explore Western Africa where I've never been thus far. So, yeah, at least got to do it once, although I love working in the other places. But, I think, to connect the dots and meet all of my expat people in Ghana is going to be a great experience. So looking forward to, possibly doing it with you all. So thank you.
Absolutely. And there are over 7,000 expats living in Ghana. It's kind of a lot like Baltimore now. I, I know some communities that are full of us. And even though Mr. Haki will be joining us in the country for the first time, Thai Tours Teaching Artists Institute, we've been working in Ghana for over 14 years now. And so our work in the region extends across the country. And we can't wait to show you that. I'm excited to say that even though it is very late, our lead curator has joined us. It looks really dark in the background. Ibrima Bandingu. It doesn't look like you have a microphone either. I'm not sure how to help you remedy that. Let's see if I can do something on my end to help you communicate with us. Bandingo, can you see us? Is your microphone enabled? Okay. So moral support. We're glad that you're here. I'm gonna let you figure that out. And while you do, I'm gonna begin our presentation around the company in general. So if you guys give me just a moment, I'm gonna pull up our first slide. So again, Thai Tours is the name of our company, and our motto, Art, Tribe, Trade, speaks to our value system and the activities that you're engaged with while on the ground in the countries where we attend. Inside of today's presentation, we'll do a company overview, our service offerings, group versus solo adventure tours, which we do offer both, our Thai Studies and Cultural Exchange program in case you or someone you know is ever interested in an extended stay. Thai High, we do work with the young people as well. Some of our product offerings, artifacts, quarterly subscription, and then just some language around why travel is necessary and how to reach us after this presentation. So what is a Thai tour? It's a journey, true immersion into a place. Thai is true immersion into a place because many tour companies, they curate experiences where you are separated from the people intentionally, especially in regions where between the haves and the have-nots. We find unique ways to weave in and out of each class and community, and we show you beauty in each. Here in the US, we have the illusion of the middle class, right? The working poor. And so it's not as evident. Those that do or do not have access to upward mobility. But in developing countries, it's very apparent. However, a Thai tour is, again, true immersion into a place. It's a journey. And so we want you to experience holistically the region in which you're attending. So you'll see the streets and the suites, everything in between. So the Teaching Artists Institute offers a unique artist-led travel experience that allows those who embark authentic exchanges with people of the world. And so the reason that we're unique is because it's artist-led. You see your journey through the lens, the artistic lens. So we're gonna continue, keep it moving. Not a lot of information. I still wanna hear from you guys. So customized itineraries, knowledgeable artist guides, flexible schedules. Even though we have tours that are curated during regions, during time periods around the year, we still want you to know that we're willing to work with your schedule. Maybe December 13th through the 22nd doesn't work. Maybe you need to plan something that's individualized for you and your family, and we can help you with that as well. So our itinerary categories for us in the Teaching Artists Institute, art is holistic. It's simply creation, co-creation. It's not just music, I sing, it's not the visual arts, but it's food, the culinary arts. We love to use the culinary arts to better show you a region. Food is a common denominator, nature, of course, but we're not just there for nature. We're also there for history and traditional art. We'll show you a little nightlife. Sometimes we do layovers in other countries and we give you a chance to show you two worlds in one tour. Wellness and leisure is also a coherent theme through each one of our tours. We want you to take a break from the fast pace of what it means to be a workaholic in America, what it means to not value the need for travel, taking a break from your own worldview. And so that's wellness and leisure. Of course, sports and recreation, mostly on the beach, for those of you that like the water, that appreciate that, and networking and investments for those of you that are in the country for a little bit more than just vacation. So what is the difference between our company and any other tour company that offers this excursion to Ghana? Well, our secret is our curators. Thai Tours is your inside connect to the Pan-African world. As I mentioned earlier, we do tours, but we're not exclusively a tourism company. Our organization, the parent company, Teaching Artists Institute, we use art as a tool for community development. We call that art for social transformation. Our goal is to connect artists and art culture to sustainable development. And we currently do that in 7 countries around the world. And that army of teaching artists, of culture keepers, of those that want to promote and preserve the African identity in all its forms, from the culinary arts to drumming to architecture to the agriculture, the things that we sometimes miss in our symbolic landscape here at home because it just kind of blends in and we take for granted those that are still vested in the symbolic landscape of the continent. We have them, they're a part of our Thai family. And we do this in 7 countries around the world, and the network is even larger. And so our secret is our curators. Our curators are the teaching artists that we work with all year long, helping them to build their projects, helping them to understand that it's bigger than the art part, helping them to understand that art is everything. A global network of Pan-African teaching artists have been trained to curate experiences inspired by their unique art forms and local environments. So eat in the kitchens of Cuba, climb to the top of Kilimanjaro, like Miss Lisa, she made it. Learn to dance with rhythm people, compete with Gucci and stain your own leather in Fez, that's in Morocco. They also do a lot of indigo dyeing in Ghana. The art of possibility is endless. So we give you access, exclusivity, and quality assurance. And you can see pictured some of our fellows, our curators around the frame of this slide. And Raz Bendingo, are you with us? Is your microphone working yet? Poor baby. I don't see it here on the screen. So we're gonna keep going. But our curators they are plugged into the regions where we go in intimate ways. And they're not just there to say, hey, look at the Elmina slave dungeons. Isn't that sad? They're not just here to say, hey, this is the club, go inside and have fun. They're artists. So they curate activities at these locations that you could only get if you were with them. So maybe after we go into the slave dungeons, you need to deal with what just happened in a way that is artistic and art therapeutic. And so we take you onto that shoreline and we paint the future to decide that this history will never repeat itself. And this is why. Just an example of how we utilize our curators to create experiences that are unique to the regions that we visit. And that is the difference. That is the Thai Tour difference. And we're always excited to add new curators. There are new artists adding our vision and movement every year. And so Raz Bendingo, he's from Wa. Wa is the Upper West region of Ghana. And we'll talk about why that region is unique when we get to where we're going in Ghana this year. So we have all different types of travelers by age, interest, and budget. A lot of our student groups, they travel together because they're okay with sharing and all kinds of dormitory ways. We try to find ways to cut costs. And some people say, listen, I don't want the kids. I only want to travel with my age group. But usually it's by interest. People find commonalities in the country. They're interested in certain topics. And so we find that group travel is our most popular option. Thai Tours offers seasonal journeys for groups of 8 or more with discounted packages to major events we partner to curate across Pan Africa. Life is better with company. So this picture is from 2019. I tried to zoom in, not sure if that happened on your end, but we love testimonials. We love social media. And this testimonial is from a guy named Camp Cleveland. He is in front of the Manhia Palace in Kumasi, the Ashanti region of Ghana. And he said, my experience traveling with Thai Tours was amazing. I have been around the world, but my trip to Ghana was one of the best. The team really took care of me and my family while we were in Ghana for the year of return in 2019. I will definitely make plans to join her and her crew in Uganda and Tanzania 2020, professional and down to earth. That always makes my heart smile. Thank you so much, Camp Cleveland. Shared costs. Traveling alone and you want to save, allow Thai Tours to tie up and tie you with a group of your interests. So even if you don't have a roommate, even if you do want to travel alone, that's okay. We can partner you with someone else in the group that is traveling alone, and they can be your roommate to help you save costs. I mentioned in this slide that we do journeys, seasonal journeys to curated Pan-African events. And so what does that mean? That means that we're not just taking you into the country to the tourist circuit. Most people that travel to Ghana, they go to Accra, which is the capital. They go to Cape Coast to see the slave dungeons. And if they're lucky, they make it to Kumasi. We call that in tourism the triangle. But because we work in the country all year long with an army of artists that are integrated into the symbolic landscape, we're able to take you off the beaten path in intimate ways to places where the average tour company can access. And they can access, it's inaccessible because they don't know the people. In order for you to go to Balatanga, you need to know the people. In order for you to go to Wa, you have to know the people, and the same with the Volta region, etc. Some of those exclusive events I'll talk about when we talk about some of the places that we'll be going this year. While on the ground, there are even events that local Ghanaians aren't invited to. You need an invitation to be there. So let's keep moving. Benefits. So if you decide that you do want to travel alone, there are some benefits. You can be on your own time, on your own schedule. This young lady, Kalita Armstrong, said, I'm back on US soil, not sure how happy I am. Cuba was amazing. And so she was on her own schedule, and we enjoyed facilitating her itinerary through Santiago in the South. So you receive 24/7 customer support. Our team is on call throughout your journey to ensure you are safe and enriched. In those individualized itineraries that I mentioned before, we just allow you to partner with us to create and self-design your journey, and you feature this boutique gotta be on the list event. So what does that mean? That means we can put you on the list of events that people don't even know are happening. Gonna keep going. Next slide. So, of course, a few photos from those that have participated in solo trips, group trips, and do it yourself. Ibrima, it looks like you have finally raised your hand and gotten your microphone work. No, I don't see a microphone, Ibrima. I'm sorry. I do see that your video is now working and that you've raised your hand, but I still don't see a microphone next to your icon. I hope that we can figure that out before before we finish. But until then,
He said he had a bad connection.
bad connection. Sorry about that. I hope that we can make it work before we're finished here this evening. So for those that don't know, our company, we also provide opportunities under our Thai Studies and Cultural Exchange for high school students. We always talk about this because you may know a high school student that needs this experience. I talk with some of my friends that have migrated here voluntarily to the continent or to the US. And because their young people grow up here, you know, they're embracing Black culture and some of the maladies that come along with that and some of the oppression from the system that doesn't know the difference between a child that I would have and a child that was birthed from the continent. And so what they're doing is they're sending their young people back home. They're like, oh my God, you're going crazy. You're too American now. I'm sending you back home to Liberia, or I'm sending you back home to Nigeria to boarding school. I've heard all types of scenarios and stories. And I ask myself, when it comes to young people that are born and raised here from our own ethnicity, from our own tribe, African Americans, where do we send our young people back to when they need a break from this society and the maladies and the pitfalls that are so prevalent, so many everywhere, so many opportunities to get caught up. They're being promoted in the media. And so Thai was created to be a part of the solution. It provides African high school students living in the diaspora with opportunities to use expeditionary learning, language studies, and artistic expression as a tool for leadership development and self-discovery. By offering summer learning, study abroad, and gap year cultural exchanges around the world, African high school students lay a strong foundation for futures in college, entrepreneurship, and healthy community engagement. And so this is our commercial break. If you know a young person that would benefit from one of our cultural exchange programs or the Thai High in general, please let us know. Maybe it's not in Ghana this December with you, but perhaps in the future. Please keep us in mind. So our commercial break is over. We're gonna keep going. I've mentioned Thai Studies and Cultural Exchange, which Thai High is underneath of, but that also refers to you. If you're looking to study abroad, it's never too late. Learning is a lifelong process. Or maybe you're already an expert and you want to be on a speaker's bureau. We have events like our annual conference in November. This year it will be in Kenya. Our conference is every November. And maybe you're an expert and you want to come and speak and share your work through an artistic lens. We would love for you to join us. We facilitate homestays. Maybe you want to learn more about the African worldview through the lens of home life. Research, field study, internships, teaching jobs. Maybe you need to live in the area, but also get a small stipend while you're there to supplement your income. And also portfolio development. So all of this is available in Thai Tours. We'll keep going. Going. So we also have lots of products. Not everybody will go to Africa. What Lisa can tell you is that now that she has gone to Tanzania, she is in the 1% of people that have actually gone. You're now the expert in the room. And people are living vicariously through you. But it doesn't mean they can't get a taste of the region. And so we have products that will give them a taste. When I first started going to the continent in the early 2000s, I would have all my friends and family bring me back a dress, some fabric. Bring me back some, I don't know, all kind of, you surprised what people have up their sleeves and what they've seen on YouTube. And so years later in our company, I said we would create a subscription box that we would highlight the regions of the continent where we visit, and 4 times a year, we can ship Africa to your front door. So you'll get a taste of the region, spices, fabrics, books, cashew nuts, sometimes indigo vat dye, all types of things that we find unique finds on the ground. And so even if your family and friends aren't able to join you, you can still, through our company, sign them up for a subscription box. We also have our Artifacts magazine. This year will be our first edition. And who knows, maybe you'll be one of those featured and your experience can live on through our publication. And so if that's you, even if you decide that you're unable to go with us to Ghana this year, maybe you can still sign up for our subscription box, Taste of the Region. So here's some of the reasons that people decide not to go. They have bills. Let's just be honest. You could make a lot of money in the US and those bills just never seem to go away. The more money you make, the higher your bills are. And guess what? Those bills will be right there when you get back. We hear people say, oh, let's just go to Vegas. Let's just do the Bahamas. But the truth is, you will spend just as much in Vegas and the Bahamas as you would say Italy or Ghana. When you go down to everything you're going to buy to wear, the money you're going to spend on the ground when you get there, all inclusive is the way. And our tour package to Ghana this year and every other group tour that we do is always all inclusive. And we'll talk about what all inclusive means. Another little Thai talk 101, travel to Africa is a luxury. Maybe it is for some, but for us here on this call today, Black people, it's a birthright. It is our right to be able to return to the land of our ancestors and repatriate at least once, hopefully twice. Hey, I say visit each country once and do it with Thai tours, of course. And then stop buying Jordans and start buying experiences. And Jordans aren't necessarily tennis shoes and Thai talk. Jordans are all of those material things that we continue to buy. All of the cars that we collect like toys, all of the dresses, all of the things that depreciate in value. This is an experience that will never get old. You will tell this experience to your grandkids and their kids about this time when I repatriated to the land of my ancestors. In the Teaching Artists Institute, we say that culture is the new currency, and it is. It's because we understand true value. That's why this is the motto of our organization. Next up, Thai Tour ambassadors. So we're always looking for Thai Tour ambassadors. The Thai Tours Ambassadors program is designed to promote travel education to communities that have limited exposure to the logistics of international travel and access to travel funding. And so this program is holistic because we're willing to work with anybody. As long as you have the willingness, you don't need a passport. If you have a passport, even if you don't, we'll help you get that. If you've never had to get a visa, we'll help you walk through the visa process. Don't worry. If you're afraid to get on a plane, we'll talk you down. But the truth is many people don't have access to this because it wasn't taught to them. And there is a steep learning curve. We're willing to help you go through that. It's also an incentive to help you market our brand to the communities that you are influential in. If you're able to successfully sell tours, then we give you a cheaper price. Every ambassador. So our Thai tour to Ghana this year is $4,500. That includes your round trip flight from the US into Ghana. That also includes 3 flights within the country. We don't keep you within the triangle. You're going up to the Upper West. You're going up to the Upper East. So you need to fly to do that. It includes 2 meals per day. You're responsible for at least one, as well as entrance into all of the activities that we do on the ground. And so we have one more slide here. I'm going to pull that up. And this is just the phrase that we just, include because we love so much. We make real travel easy. The art of travel is meant to help you see outside yourself in order to see your reflection more clearly. And the reason that quote is so important to us is because we think that we're going into another country to learn about those people and to learn about that location. And it's true, you do learn a bit, but ultimately what you learn more about is yourself, who you are. And I think the irony of that is something that you should prepare people for in advance. We've had so many people experience culture shock. And so we help you manage that. Every tour that we do includes a Thai tour preparation series, 4 workshops leading up to our departure date that teaches you everything about how to be healthy abroad, what to pack, travel insurance, how to prepare your family for your experience. And it begins with a send off that we do virtually, and it ends with a homecoming. And that's once you return. And a homecoming is an opportunity for 2 things. One, for you to share your experience with the community of people you love. We also have the opportunity to share our marketing materials and our brand. We bring the food of the region you went to. We bring the wares, and we give people a taste of the region. And you help us do that with the homecoming. And so the experience continues even after you have left the country. So now I want to talk a little about Ghana. I'm going to check in with our curator and see if he is able to. Oh, he's gone completely now. Okay. Um, well, that's unfortunate. Raz Bandingo, I'll begin by giving him a little introduction. You'll have 3 curators while on the ground. Typically, we have 2, but the reason you'll have 3 is because one of them is a really, I'll say, highly situated manager in the government, and they're not able to travel with us throughout the country. They're a little bit of a surprise, but they are helping to curate experiences just for us to participate in, to give you an inside look at Ghana and the beauty of the country's people. So Raz Bandingo, who just left us, he's a performing artist from Upper Wa, from the region of Wachau. So I'm going to pull up the calendar now. Give me 1 second. Okay, I hope you guys can see that. So we're using this as a mock template to talk and guide you through what will be happening while we're on the ground in Ghana. So our journey begins on December 13th. When we first arrive, our first destination, of course, will be Kumasi. In Kumasi, in the Ashanti region, this is the height of Ghana's prominence and cultural preservation. Um, the Ashanti Hene means king, is still sitting on his throne today, as he did in the early 15, 16, and 1700s. The Ashanti king, he shares the throne with the advisory of the queen mother that is there by his side, not his wife, but usually his sister or his auntie. And this dynamic is really important for us to explain culturally, because from the diaspora perspective, the king always leads with his queen, which is his wife. And I love the balance found in Ghana, where the king shares advisory of the tribe with his auntie, which is usually a little older, a little more experienced, and she has just as much influence in the society. And Ghana has many queen mothers across the country, and you will have the pleasure of being with all of them. So we will land in Accra, and immediately we will be transported to Kumasi, which in our opinion as a company is the cultural epic center of Ghana. From Kumasi and the Manhia Palace, we will journey to Bonri. Bonri is an extension of the Ashanti Kingdom. Our curator in Bonri will be Dominic Marfo. Dominic has lived in the Bonri village, and his family, they're a family of weavers. They use huge looms and their toes on both sides to weave one strand at a time, beautiful woven tapestries that speak the Ndinkra language. The Ndinkra is a sacred language of symbols and symbolic symbols of the Ashanti people. The language of the Adinkra, it predates many of the Francophone, Anglophone, and even the Fila languages that are their origins. Each symbol has a meaning. You'll learn about the meaning. You'll have the opportunity to make the dye. That is the product of a boiled down tree bark. You'll have the opportunity to stamp the Ndinkra symbols that speak most to you on the fabrics that have been made specifically for you. And Dominic Marfo will lead that process. At that time, we'll head back down to Accra because we are invited to a very special dinner with His Excellency. And so in Accra, there are many activities to see. Some of our connection to Ghana in the 6th region, which is what we're called here in the diaspora, is through W.E.B. Du Bois. Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana after emancipation from colonization, he said, "I'm not African because I was born in Africa. I'm African because Africa was born in me." And he laid the foundation using the Black Star as his guide, inspired by Harriet Tubman, who used the star to find her way to freedom. He laid a foundation and opened the door wide for the diaspora to come back home. And W.E.B. Du Bois, he did just that. And while in Accra, we will visit his final resting place, as well as other beautiful gardens, etc., in the area. We'll also meet with many of the diaspora that are currently living in Ghana because they've repatriated, and they'll tell you about their personal experience firsthand. But before we leave Accra, the capital, we are going to sit in the presence of His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo, who's the current president. I am going to take a break from being a part of your delegation, and I'm going to sing a few songs on stage under Kim Pool Music. So we've been invited, and we have our own little table and section. After that, on the 17th, we'll get on our flight to the Upper West region of Wa. I'm so sorry that Ibrima is not able to be here with us to talk for himself about what they call the Hippo City, Wachau. In Wachau, you'll do many activities. First and foremost, you're going to get on canoe boats. And these canoes are going to take you down the Black Volta, where the hippos still live. There's an incredible story from the Black Volta during the enslavement. The local people remember colonization, and they remember when people from what they call them the Bongo. I'm trying to think of what they call Europeans that came to enslave them. They remember those experiences and they passed them down with the griot style tradition, the oral tradition. And they said that when they came for Wachau, the Hippo City, that the reason that they were able to escape the clutches of the Europeans is because they rode the backs of the hippos. And when the Europeans attempted to follow behind them, assuming that those mounds in the river were rocks, the hippos moved and they all drowned. And I just love that story because that's the type of folklore that gives you the strength in your identity, that makes you proud of who you are. And so we want to promote those stories that keep the pride of the Ghanaian people intact. So from Wachau, we'll go to the sacred region in the Upper West called Senkanu. Senkanu in that region will be led by the chief, Bernard Morna. And Bernard Morna, he sits as the chief, the grandson of a great chief. And there we'll have a small hike to the top of a mountain that served as a fortress during the attacks of the colonizer. And Senkanu, it in the Upper West region was like a citadel. It was in leadership. In many of the other surrounding regions, they came to Senkanu and they organized a militia to fight back against the colonizers' invasions, and they won. We have so many stories when we go to Ghana that tell us about how we arrived here. And we never really hear the stories about what happened to those that were left behind. and how they felt about those that were taken, and those fronts where the colonizers came and they lost. They didn't win on every front in every village across the region. And so we also pride ourselves on telling you those stories and uncovering that history. From Sencano, we'll go in the Upper West region to a very fancy dinner. Ibrima, if he was on the line, he'd tell you more about that. He's going to perform with us. He's going to do drumming and dancing in the traditional forms of the Upper West region. We're inviting Balatenga to join us. We're bringing sand to the beach. We don't have enough time to go to the east border, but we're bringing the eastern border to us. And so Shenki Bongo, he's coming to show you his, what they call obu, as strong as a stone, dance movement and hip hop. They tell us in the diaspora we have no culture, but we continually, as we leave the shores of the US, see the influence of our culture around the world, especially for me, us musicians. We see it all the time, jazz and the blues and R&B and hip hop especially. They love it. And so it reminds us that we too have a culture, even though we're learning about others, and it has influenced the world. And so after our big fancy dinner where we meet the chief, we will actually visit the house of the chiefs. They have a house of the chiefs in Wa. And so we'll sit at their feet and we'll talk to them with their translators, of course, and they'll bless us and send us on our journey. And before we leave, not least, last but not least, we will visit Elmina and the slave dungeons that dot the Cape Coast or the Gold Coast. And we'll talk about how we were the gold that was taken from the Gold Coast, and what a blessing that we're now back and returned. And I'll allow you to take that journey home with you, to meditate on what that means and how you plan to continue the journey of repatriating in your mind and in your heart. It's continual and it lasts forever. And so we're here today to answer any questions that you may have about our journey in December, this 13th through the 22nd. I do know that Thai Tours is an opportunity to connect with people of the world in an authentic way. The curators that you meet, we've been knowing them for over 10 years. We are vested in the regions where we take you. And so we're able to protect you from some of the haggling, some of the feeling used. When you first come to Africa as a soloist, like I did so many moons ago, I felt like all they saw was dollar signs. It's like, listen, sis, I understand you're as Black as me, but you have dollars. And some of that is still true. But now that we have done the hard work of building authentic relationships with the people we work with on the ground, first of all, some of them have a lot more money than I do. Second of all, we're like family now. And that's a beautiful thing to feel. And I hope that we can share our family with you on a Thai tour. So if after this conversation, you're interested in receiving an application, we'll allow you to do that. We'll set you up on a payment plan if you need that, and we'll continue from there on a one-on-one basis. But before we do, I want to open the line for questions, give you an opportunity just to ask anything you're thinking. Or if you have a comment and you just have something you want to get off your chest, well, let's hear it. Anybody?
I have a question. What has been your experience with, let's say, the Ghanaians feeling that we're not authentic Africans? Because I understand that term Obroni or Bruni is not only for European Americans, but in some cases us. But I want to hear from your experience. Have you seen that?
Well, what I will say is this. Tribalism on the continent is real. It's the reason that colonization worked, because able to divide and conquer. And a lot of that tribalism is still exists today. If you go into Accra, you see that, I mean, it's a big city now, but the original people of Accra were the Wa. And I mean, sorry, not Wa. I'm still thinking of Upper West, the Ga, G-A. And those people, they don't feel, if you ask them how they feel about the Ashanti, they don't take kindly to the Ashanti. Everybody's Ghanaian on the surface, but just beneath the surface, when we scratch just beneath the surface, you'll see that a lot of the tribalistic opinions that brought people to where they could be colonized still exist today. And so make no mistake about it, you have your own tribe. So it's okay. You are a part of your ethnicity, you're a part of your tribe, and we're just one of the tribes at the table. And so Pan-Africanism was developed in the diaspora. So in some ways, we have to take leadership and we have to be an example of the unified front, the idea that global African unity and solidarity is possible, even if it isn't our past, because it never truly existed. Is it possible for our future? Is it necessary for our future? And so we are at that table, we are at the helm of that agenda. And so that is a part of what we're bringing back to Ghana when we come, every time we come.
Okay.
Did that answer the question?
I think so.
Okay. Well, it's not too late. You can, speak now.
I have other questions, and I don't want to monopolize the discussion. But I've heard stories on both sides of that, and I've even been to the Ghanaian embassy in D.C. and talked to some of the staff there that were Ga, and they insisted on calling me an American. I told them, I said, that's an insult to me to call me an American. I'm just as much African as you are. And if you insist on calling me an American, I'm going to show you what we in America do when we insult it. I'll take you outside and lay hands on you. And they said, wait a minute, we got security. I said, I don't care about your security. You in DC, I got cousins, we roll deep in DC, okay? So then the brother said, here again, he said, wait a minute, bro, wait a minute. I can look at your face, your structure. You look sort of God. I said, now I'm God because now I'm getting angry.
Listen, what I'll say is this. They are doing to us what was done to them.
Mm-hmm.
So you are experiencing the symptoms of a malady that goes so much deeper than the surface examples in behavior.
Okay.
And perhaps on the ground in Ghana, we need a real panel discussion about that. And that can be arranged because there are Pan-African nationalists in Ghana of African descent that'll have this conversation with you. And they've studied our historians, they've studied our scholars as well as their own. And this is what guides them. And those are the Ghanaians that you need to contact and connect with. And they're far and few between. And so
that leads into a nice segue to my next question. I promise I won't ask any more right away. Will we see or have an opportunity to have any discussion at all with Dr. Obadeli Carbone?
So we don't work with Rebels. Most of the Pan-Africans that we work with in Ghana are from Ghana. But there will be an opportunity while in Accra for you to have a connection with repatriates that have lived for many years. For example, some of my mentors, Mr. Albee and Miss Rose, they run the International Study of at the university. You may be familiar with Legon.
Kim, we lost your microphone.
Yes, and so Mr. Albee and Miss Rose, they raised their children there. They've been there over 40 years. And these are some of the elders that I began working with when I first started to work in Ghana. And so we will have dinner with them and meet some of the other repatriates that have been a part of the African American Association in Ghana. And so you'll have an opportunity to ask them many questions about what it's like to live in Ghana as a repatriate of African American descent. Questions? Did that answer your question, Hakim?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Questions, more questions, there has to be.
I have a question. What are the accommodations like?
So you stay in everything from the streets to the suites, not outside. What I will say is this, you will experience Ghanaian life holistically. So you will stay in accommodations where this is the top of what Ghana has to offer, like the Golden Tulip. This is one of the examples of Ghana's most premier accommodations. But you'll also stay in a village setting for one night. And it's not because this is not a hotel, and it's not because you won't be comfortable, but it isn't a city. Everything around you, except for the building that you're in, will remind you of the village life. And I think it's important for you to experience both, because we're not just tourists, we're on a journey, and we want you to connect with people from all classes. And so you have to go to them. And so are you going to sleep on any dirt floors? No. Will it always be a hotel accommodation? Yes. But the locations and the scenery around the hotel will change. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Sure. In traveling to Africa, like you say, sometimes the local people would see you as a dollar sign. And so the question becomes, how do you deal with the security? You know, because I know I did have some experience where people would like just, you know, kind of bum rush you and, you know, try to take whatever you had, you know, like if you had tennis shoes or something like that, if you left off the hotel property per se, they would warn you that, you know, their security couldn't be responsible for you. And you could, you know, as a tourist, you could be wrong.
So what I'll say is this, first and foremost, when you go to Africa, you're not a tourist. And one of the biggest reasons is because in most situations, if you just be quiet, nobody knows that you're not Ghanaian. They may look at you and say, oh, you're fresh. But what they're thinking is that you're from Ghana and you just moved abroad and now you're home to visit. So what does that mean? During our Thai tour preparation series, which is 4 workshops leading up to our departure, we teach you about how to be security minded. Some of the habits we have here in Baltimore City, you probably are already hip to some of what you need. Don't go to the ATM and spread your money like a fan and walk with it to the van before you put it into your bag. You can usually card, the card in most locations across Ghana. Until you go off the beaten path, you can use your visa, just like you can anywhere else. I'm just trying to talk about things that would make you a target. Meanwhile, our curators are prepared. They're also security minded. They've been trained and they're well aware of the risk and how to defend you against those risks. So I would say a part of our responsibility as a company is to ensure your safety, and we're well prepared and equipped to do that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Nice. But you, Baltimore City native, I don't think you'll have any problems at all.
No, I didn't the last time I went to the continent, but I know the reality is like, say, like if you come there as it's American, and once they realize that you're an American, you know, they sometimes view you as an ATM machine, and people will just bum rush you, you know, like, and either try to sell you things that you're not interested in, or people were actually begging in the street and, you know, like kind of pulling on you to, you know, just give them, you know, whatever, you know, they were able to coax from you, that sort of thing.
So I do know what you're referring to. And what I will say is that Ghana is one of the most humble countries on the West African coast. So you won't find that in Ghana specifically. What I'll also say is that that is a concern in the village areas, but they are, what would you call them? Terrorist sects. So you find the terrorist sects in locations like Nigeria. You have the Boko Haram. And these things are published on the US Department, on their site, some of the terrorist sects. And so Ghana is not one of the regions with these types of concerns. We'll send you information and literature to reassure yourself. And ultimately, what we can just hope is that you can trust in us as a company to be security minded and to ensure that you are safe and have an enjoyable time.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I want to speak to, since I've traveled with Thai Tours before, and I want to speak to that. There were definitely moments when we were in Tanzania where we had that experience for sure. But I think what gave me some assurance, like you said, I mean, you have to know how to move over here, just like you need to know how to move anywhere that you go. And you need to be, security minded. But I felt because you have such a connection with the continent, because you are not there, you have, you're well, when you travel with Kim, you'll see that they have these relationships with the people in Tanzania. So there was a sense of security that I felt from that, if that makes sense. Like, you all were not strangers there. Does that make sense what I'm saying, Tim?
Oh, absolutely. I understand. I mean, there's a difference between like how you carry yourself. I remember there was a group of tourists that were very disrespectful of the locals, and they acted very privileged, and
Right.
it galled me, like that they didn't recognize they were in somebody else's home.
Right. And see, Kim and them Thai Tours has relationship with people on the ground. Yeah. So they're not unfamiliar with where, once you begin to see that, it kind of it gave me some sense of, plus I know how to carry myself as well, but it also gave me, because like she said, they're not just there on a tourist platform. They're integrating, they're immersing themselves in, the diaspora. They have relationships with people there. So that gave me more of a sense of security, if I'm making sense.
I understand you, sister. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. And thank you, Lisa, for talking from personal experience. I appreciate that testimonial, and it's true. We're not going to regions where we're only in the country to do a tour. We're taking you to see the icing on the cake. We're taking you to see what we've built. And a part of what we've built are those long-standing relationships. And so we're not taking you onto the tourist triangle, even though we'll take you to a few locations where the tourists go. We're taking you to the architects of Ghana, people that choreograph the nightlife. These are, Ghana's best and brightest, those that are entrenched into the environment. And so I just hope that you'll get a chance to see for yourself. Are there any more questions?
Yeah. What about the monetary exchange?
So right now, unfortunately, I'm sorry, hold on one second. Okay.
Miles, hey.
Yes. So the CD, unfortunately, is not doing so well right now. Let's just say you won't have any problems on the ground when you get there. Inside of your application booklet will be a page that tells you about currency exchange. They'll also tell you about health options on the ground, what the healthcare facilities are like should emergencies arise. We also talk about inside of the application, we talk about who you would like your roommate to be, smoker, non-smoker, etc. And so you'll see a lot of those questions answered in the application booklet.
Hey, Kim, my question is, if you do decide to go solo, if you don't have a roommate, how does that impact your cost?
So if you want a single room, then that's an additional $500. If not, we will assign you a roommate.
Okay. Okay, so the total would be, instead of 4,500, it would be 5,000. Am I understanding that correctly?
For a single room, yes.
All right, thank you.
Any more questions?
And so for a couple, that's $9,000.
Yes. Any more questions?
Kim, you were just in Egypt, Kemet, I guess what, 2 weeks ago?
Not even 2 weeks.
Okay, time is
About 5 days. Yes, I was.
okay. And you did me a tremendous favor because I had approved. Oh my God. I lose you?
Say again. I'm still here.
Somehow I lost your screen, but I think I hit the button. But I appreciate what you did for me. I was trying to prove a point to someone who said that the 3 pyramids in Giza are no longer there, if you can believe that. And I think you had mentioned that there was a possibility with the Ghana trip that we would have a short layover in Egypt, and I was wondering how that would work out.
Yes. So essentially, we will be adding a 20, maybe 18-hour layover on our flight in the country of Egypt, in Cairo. And so that's what happens when you take Egypt Air. And I can't wait for you guys to get the experience of having 2 countries in one.
Okay, so that is going to take place for the December trip. Because that to me was a nice hook. If I could just get okay.
Yeah, Kim, can you elaborate on that a little bit, please?
So when you take Egypt Air, you have to do a layover in Cairo. And the layover is long enough for you to go and see the pyramids at Giza Strip.
Oh,
and
man.
sure that
See,
you're able
Kim,
to do
how
that.
could you leave that part out?
For real, for real.
Yes.
I mean, come on. All right, but I'm happy. You put a smile on my face, okay?
Yes, it's like 2 trips in one. We love layovers.
So it's a similar deal to when we were in Amsterdam, Kim.
Yes, exactly. So when you went to Tanzania, we stayed for well, we stayed overnight, but we would only be there in Egypt for about 18 hours. And it gives
Just so you can get it in. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and I do have a question about us taking flights while we are in Ghana. Is it gonna be that? Are we gonna be running with horses like we were in Tanzania?
Well, the thing is that in Ghana, the luggage allotment is a little more. At the same time, you don't have such a long distance. So I would say no. Yeah. I would say
Okay, thank you.
One other question.
Yeah.
I'm a beach person. Do we get to Labadi Beach?
So that may not be the beach where we go to, but we will go to the water.
Okay. So you gotta get me to the beach at some point.
You will definitely go to the beach.
Okay, I got 2 wishes. Okay, you got me for the beach, and whomever is going to be our tour guide with you, they know the best food spots. Hakeem,
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Food is our love language. So
it's my love language. See, as soon as you get off this call right now, I'm rushing to my African restaurant right now, so I'm happy.
Yes, you'll get your red. You'll get your red snapper fish. I don't know if you love seafood, but I love fish and some of the best in Elmina on the coast.
Can you drink the water?
Well, you don't drink the water, but during our Thai tour preparation series, you will find that you can drink the water inside of a coconut. So when you stay at the Coconut Grove Beach Resort in Elmina, you'll drink coconut water until you can't drink anymore. You can eat fruit with a hard outer cover, like pineapples and plantain or banana. and most of the water in Ghana is bottled. But we'll talk about all that during the Tide Tour preparation series. Don't worry, we'll make sure that you're safe.
And I can vouch for that. I can vouch that we went to some amazing, I mean, I don't know if you have the same kind of restaurants, but we had some amazing experiences when it came to, places to eat. Like we went out to a restaurant that was all the way out in the Indian Ocean that we had to catch a boat to. I think we did that twice, right, Kim?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
one was a restaurant, one was an island. And
Right.
so, yeah, that was great.
That was awesome.
Okay, family. So if there are no more questions, we do have to go. We have a group going to Tanzania in October, and so they are patiently waiting. I'm so excited that you guys are coming with us to Ghana. I'm going to go ahead and speak it into existence, and I will send you all the applications. I look forward to following up with each of you.
All right. Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
Kim.
much.
All right. Good night.
Peace and
Night.
blessings.
All right. All right. All right. Beautiful. Thank you all. So you all heard. Ghana, December the 13th through the 23rd. So I wasn't able to be on the full call, but we're looking forward to it. As you can see, reach out for the Success Scholar, Haki Ami, at 410 or WhatsApp 1-410. Here, 209 9687 or email hakiami@gmail.com. Hakiami@gmail.com. Join us. A lot more that has evolved since we had this discussion. So many more amazing opportunities will pan out from this. So definitely reach out, text, call, email, however you feel, WhatsApp or email. So, or visit us on Teaching Artists Institute on Facebook page. All right, so we are out, y'all. Hopefully you can join us. Set your plans for December in Ghana. All right, so we are out. Thank the brother that chimed in and listened in a little earlier. We appreciate it. So we are out. Till next time. Peace.